So how is Texas, one of America's fastest growing states, also seeing a decline in their home prices?
62.4% of Austin homes sat on the market for 60 days or longer without going under contract in November.
If you've been following the local real estate market, or you're just considering a move to the Lone Star State, this information could save you thousands or also help you time your investment perfectly.
Perfect storm of rising interest rates, overvalued properties, and shifting demographics could trigger a significant market correction in 2025.
Now, I remember when I first moved to Texas roughly 16 years ago, the energy, the opportunity, the sense that everything was going to be awesome and turn out just great. Now, while I don't think that energy is necessarily changed, I do know the real estate market has. And today we're going to explore this fascinating shift that's happening right in front of our own eyes. Now, what we are seeing right now in Texas is truly unprecedented. Some of our major market areas are seeing some massive price drops. And I'm not talking just numbers on a screen. I'm talking about what somebody may see as a potential challenge, others may see as a great opportunity. Now, let's start with some serious data here. Some of the drops in the major metro areas are in cities that were super red hot just a couple of years ago. I'm talking about you, Austin. In the Keep It Weird Lone Star capital city, rates have dropped 1.7% to $440,000, with projections for 2025 suggesting this downward trend will persist, with the median price forecasted to fall by 3.7% to $424,000. This represents the first ever 3-year price decline in Austin's real estate history, something that didn't happen even during the 2008 financial crisis. Remember the Alamo? Well, in San Antonio, home prices have dropped from $370,000 down to $365,000 on average, with values down over 2.4% in this last year. Dallas is experiencing a similar trend with prices down 2.3%, while experts predict further cooling in the San Antonio market and other major metros by the end of 2025. What's particularly striking, I think, about this information is that in Texas, they're cooling down, but nationally, the numbers are actually increasing ever so slightly. We are seeing a true divergence in market performance. But here are where things get really interesting. Despite the falling home prices, Texas remains strong as one of the nation's leader in population increase. Check this out. Population-wise, between 2020 and 2030, Texas is projected to see its population increase by 11.4%, making it the third highest growth rate among all states. Now, by 2030, Texas is expected to reach approximately 32.5 million residents. Now, some of our suburbs around some of our major population centers are also feeling an increase too. Take a look at New Braunfels, Texas, which is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. You talk to any of the residents that have been there long term, they are sick and tired of the growth, and they'll let you know about it. And obviously, Texas is a large state, but the population growth isn't evenly distributed. Take Kaufman County, for example. Just east of Dallas, it has emerged as the fastest growing county in Texas and the second fastest in the entire country. Its population has surged by 6% from July 2023 to July 2024. And also from 2020 to 24, Kaufman County welcomed over 50,000 new residents. That's an increase of 1/3. There are some cities in Texas that have been around forever and the population isn't even close to 50,000, let alone seeing that increase in a 4-year span. That is just nuts. Another illustration, among the top 10 fastest growing counties in the entire nation, Texas has 4 of them. They're located in Kaufman County, Liberty, Montgomery, and Caldwell counties. Now, Harris County, which is essentially the greater Houston area, has seen a huge surge, and it's the most populated urban county in Texas. It recorded the highest increase in residents nationwide, adding over 105,000 people. And as a state, Texas added over 563,000 people last year alone. That's more than 500,000 people choosing to make Texas their home state in just 1 year. So how do we explain this apparent contradiction? We're seeing falling home prices, but yet it's one of the fastest growing states population-wise. Well, I believe there are several key factors here at play. First, Texas has been building new construction homes at a breakneck pace. The state accounted for nearly 15% of all new construction permits nationwide. This despite only having 9% of the total population center located here. This type of aggressive building has led to a surge in inventory. And just last week, I was showing some clients from California who are relocating here to the San Antonio area. And I asked the superintendent while we were out looking at homes on the west side of San Antonio called Alamo Ranch, what's the average timeline to get a house from foundation all the way to keys? That's basically from beginning to end. And he told me, if the weather cooperates, 85 days. That is insane. 85 days from start to finish. Just blew my mind. And even more numbers, the San Antonio inventory is completely surging. The housing market has tripled over the last 3 years to 12,000 homes for sale, the most supply in at least a decade. And across Texas, there are over 115,000 homes for sale at the end of 2024. That is up more than 20+% from the previous year. And second, while the population growth has remained strong, it is definitely not at the pandemic peak levels that we saw in the past. As a Dallas real estate agent noted, there are 5 times as many sellers as there are buyers, indicating that it is a strong buyer's market, and we're definitely seeing that here in South Texas as well. But this market shift creates some potential opportunities for investors and buyers alike. With prices dropping and inventory rising, buyers are having much more leverage than they have in years past. You may have been priced out during the pandemic boom, but this correction offers a great opportunity to enter the market at more reasonable prices. The average listing price in the state of Texas is $360 as of December of 2024, which is about $40,000 less than the national average. And we're seeing it time and time again. More people are relocating to the state of Texas. It's probably considered 60% of my business has been relocations from other state to the greater San Antonio area. So we're seeing that firsthand here, at least with our real estate business. Now, what about some of those entry-level home prices, like say between $300,000 to $400,000? Well, Texas has seen its fair share of those prices as well, as the average home price is at $350,000, making home ownership more accessible compared to some other states. The median size of a newly constructed home in Texas also dropped to just under 2,100 square feet in 2024. That's a 5.3% reduction from 2020 as builders work to create some more affordable options for people. Now, looking ahead, experts predict that we will see home price growth moderate in 2025. While the market will still favor sellers in many areas, the pace of price appreciation is expected to slow, creating more balanced opportunities for buyers. And I believe if interest rates stabilize or slightly decrease this year, the real estate will see a huge resurgence of the buyer activity, particularly with those first-time home buyers that we talked about or people that want to relocate here from other states, especially some of the higher priced ones like either California or Washington or Chicago, maybe even Michigan. Now, it's also very important to note that this, I believe, is a market correction, not a crash. There are so many other factors that contributed to some of the crashes in the past. It is much harder to get a loan nowadays. There are a lot more restrictions with our loan officers. They tell us all the time. Even right before closing, we have some mortgage companies that will check a verification of employment even on closing day just to make sure that person that's applying for that loan is still good to close on that house. Now, on home prices, even though they have declined since their peak in 2022, they remain significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels. For instance, Austin's projected median price for 2025 is $424,000. You compare that to $312,000 in 2019. That's great. It is very clear that Texas is really at a fascinating inflection point. With the population continuing to grow while the prices moderate, we are seeing a rebalancing that creates an opportunity for buyers, challenges for sellers, and interesting dynamics for long-term investors here in Texas. So whether you're considering a move to Texas, you already call the Lone Star State home, or you're an outsider looking to invest in the state of Texas, understanding these trends can make better informed decisions in this ever-changing real estate market. And if you found this information helpful, I strongly suggest you check out our latest video here on the pros and cons of new construction. And if you're looking to relocate to the Lone Star State, we got you covered. My contact information is located below. We would love to get the process started with you. Feel free to reach out anytime. Thanks for watching.